This is the lesson for Chapter 5, Section 6, Similar Figures and Proportions. So the key about similar figures is up here written on the upper right-hand corner. So for two figures to be similar, they first must make sure that we have to look at the angles. So the corresponding angles are equal. So that's the key thing right here. Corresponding angles are equal. So what we're talking about corresponding angles is looking at this one here, 38 right here, that's an angle. So we should see another 38 here. But I don't see an angle of 38. So right away, these angles are not corresponding. See, 120, 105, those are not the same. Those are not the same. So 38 degrees is not equal to 44 degrees. And so we do not have this component of a similar figure. The measures of those corresponding angles are not equal. And so right away, I would say, no, these two triangles are not similar. Not similar. And the reason is that the corresponding angles are not equal. So that's the first thing I look for, is those corresponding angles being equal. Well, let's take a look at the next one. Okay, so this is 56 degrees, this is 56 degrees. That's good. 83 degrees, so we should see another 83. Oh, right here, there it is. 41 degrees, this is 41 degrees. So yes, we have completed this component of seeing if the numbers or these two figures are similar. However, we have to go to the next component. The ratios of the lengths of the corresponding sides are proportional. So let's see what that means. So the ratios of the lengths of the corresponding sides. So let's take a look at what the corresponding side is. Like here, DE corresponds to LK because those angles are the same. 56 degrees, 83 degrees. 56 degrees, 83 degrees. So this side right here, 40 and 24, should be the same. So let's write that out, 40 over 24. So now let's reduce this fraction. Let's take out the common factor to find out what this fraction actually is in a reduced form. So 40 I can divide by 8. I can divide 24 by 8 as well. And so what I'm left with, well, I've got a 5 over 3. So what this means is all the fractions that we come up with should reduce down to 5 over 3. If they don't, they're not proportional. So let's take a look at another one. 41 degrees, 83 degrees. Okay, this side here, 50 inches, is in between 40 and 83, or 41 and 83. So 30 is right in between 41 and 83. So let's write that one down. We have 50 over 30. Now I have to write it the same way. See, I had 40 over 24, so I'm starting with this fraction, this triangle first. So I start with the 50 divided by 30. Now let's take out the common factor. Well, 10 goes into these two numbers. Whenever numbers end in zeros, you can just cancel them out because you can divide by 10. So when I do that, I'm left with 5 over 3. Look, they're the same. That's good. So let's check the last one. You got to check all of them. So 41 to 56. So the 60-degree angle is in between the 41 and the 56. So I go to this one. In between 41 and 56 is 36. So I'll write that one down and take out the common factor. So if you don't see the big number, you can always start with 2, because they're both even. 6 goes into both 36 and 60, but there's a bigger number. If you didn't see it, it's 12. So this is why we learned our 12, so that we could do reducing really fast. Makes the problem go quicker, get done faster. So 60 divided by 12 makes 5. 60 inches is 5 feet. 36 divided by 12 is 3. See, 36 inches is 3 feet. And look, we have the same number. 5/3, 5/3, 5/3. They're all the same. They are proportional. So we'd say, yes, these two triangles are similar. Well, we've got two other problems. These two figures are not triangles, but that's okay. What we do is we take a look at the angles first. That's always the best thing to do. 140, 140, 90, 90, 40, 40, 90, 90. Okay, all the angles are equal. Corresponding angles are equal. So let's take a look at the sides. In between the 40 and the 140 is 5. In between this 40 and 140 is 5. So 5 over 5. That means these are exactly the same size. It should be 1 over 1. Let's try the next one. 140 and 90. 140 and 90. So 7 over 11. Uh-oh. Right there. 7 and 11. Those are not the same numbers. So right away we see no, these are not proportional. We'll say not similar. And the reason they're not similar is that the corresponding angles, so those corresponding angles are not proportional. So that's the first thing you look for. As I look for angles first, then I check the corresponding sides, and I saw those sides, at least some of them were proportional. See, even this one's proportional, 3.5 and 3.5, but the top and the bottom are not. So let's take a look at the next one. Here we have 60 and 40. Oh, right away I see a problem. See, 60 and 40 are not the same. See, this one's 60 and this one's 40. This one's 140, this one's 120, 120, 120. So right away I know it's not similar. And the reason is that the corresponding angles are not equal. But let's just look at it a little further. You see, we have to have both of these check off. And in this case, they didn't because the angles were not. But the sides were. You see, if you look at the sides, we look at, like, let's say the 2 and the 3. See, these sides here, if I pretend that these were corresponding sides, that would make 2 over 3. This is 2 over 3, so that works. So I've got 2 of them that are working, and 4 and 6. So 4 and 6, which reduces, you see, I could reduce it down to 2 over 3. So I've got another one that's 4 and 6, so I know that equals 2 over 3. So the sides were proportional, corresponding sides were proportional, but the angles were not. And so that's why it was not similar. So just because one works, either the angles being proportional or equal, or the sides being proportional, doesn't necessarily mean that it's similar. They both have to work. So in this case, only one ended up working. And so we had three of them that did not. So that's what you're going to end up seeing. So again, you look for the angles first. That'll eliminate that portion of it. And then if all the angles are the same, then go to the corresponding sides and see if those are proportional. So just write down the fraction, write down the ratio, and reduce it like I did on letter B here to see if they equal. Well, those are the problems you'll see on tonight's homework.